operating without a lot of D linemen today. Is everybody okay on that?
Yeah, no long-term things, but Eric had I believe was growing. He'll be day to day. And I believe Kerr was the same thing. So we're just missing a couple guys with wear and tear. It's part of camp, so it was tough to get through it all.
It's only been a few practices, but I mean, you had expectations for Trey coming into camp. Lance, has he kind of met those expectations progress-wise?
Yeah. I think he's playing how he hoped he would. You never know. So you don't try to put a lot on guys. You just want to see what happens and put the offense in and see how he handles it. And he's been handling it well, so getting better each day.
When B. Ford is out there, what are you looking to see when he's trying to rush McGlinchey or somebody?
Not much. We know what he can do, so I'm just hoping he keeps coming out there without any setbacks. So he's played in this league long enough, so I'm just hoping that anytime the back is like it's been for the last couple of years, I just hope it doesn't act back up.
Do you not have expectations for him? You just, kind of, if anything you get from him is found money. Is that kind of how you have to approach it?
Yeah, I think that's how approaching him. That's how approaching Hurd. I mean, these guys haven't played, Hurd in 2 years and D Ford in about a year and a half. So when you look at that, and they've had some issues with that, I mean, you can't just flat out count on it. But we know they're two good players that would help us a lot, and really hoping that they'll get to week one and hopefully be able to help us out throughout the whole year, not just week one.
I mean, this is probably looking too far ahead, but since your first two games are on artificial turf, does that factor into any timeline with those kind of guys?
No, not with me.
Given what you said about D, I mean today, I don't know how many snaps he played, but a fair amount, and he's not exactly going half speed, he's falling down, and all this stuff. Has he surprised you as far as where he is relatively early in camp?
I want to say surprised. I mean, this is where I hoped he'd be. It's been some time. We've taken a year off, and he's been here for since the season ended. I think he left in June and half of July, but before that he had been here about 5 months, really working to get to this point. So I had an idea he would be like this. I'm just hoping it continues.
It's hard for us to see without live tackling, but what's your appraisal of how the run game is doing now the quarterbacks are manipulating it?
I think it's a work in progress. I mean, you have some good things, and you have some. I think our guys are getting better at blocking. I think our guys are running better. You try to do some things schematically and stuff, where you're going into pressures and things like that you got to clean up. We had a couple balls on the ground today, which is never good. Anytime you're doing that, you got to back it up. So, but I've been happy with the progress. Guys are working. It's where you expect in camp, and hopefully it'll keep getting better.
What did you see today on those fumbled exchanges in the offense?
Just when there's some indecision between pulling it and taking it. Sometimes the backs hold on to it too hard. There's an element there. You got to kind of slow play everything, and when you slow play everything in football, eventually it's got to be explosive and you got to go. So you got to have two guys kind of moving the same speed, and when there's a little give and take, that's what happens.
Is it more give and take and less communication?
There's no communication during that. That's just about when two guys have an option to get the ball. Sometimes it's not as smooth of a handoff and things like that as it would be when one guy's getting it all the time.
How has Trey Sermon been as a pass catcher, route runner, that aspect of the game?
I think he's done a hell of a job. He didn't do a ton of it in college, but just out here, I mean, we work on that with everybody, regardless of if they're one of the better guys or not at it. And I feel like his hands have been good. I think his feet are good. I think he has the ability to get better at routes the more and more he does it.
How has Ambry Thomas been progressing?
I think he's getting better too. I mean, like all those rookies, they're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on in OTAs. I think he came here in training camp a little more prepared, and maybe got off to a little bit of a slow start, but like they all kind of did. But I feel here these last three practices, he's making some progress.
Now that the pads are on, how's the chemistry with the offensive line been looking?
I love when the pads are on because it's realer. It's easier to block people. You can practice without telling guys they're doing everything but a couple things. So it makes it a lot realer. So you get a lot of more good work in. Even when the guys miss and stuff, you got a chance to get better when the pads are on. Our D line, they're a little wounded today, which makes it easier for our pass protection. But I've been happy with the guys so far.
What have you seen out of Talanoa so far?
What's that?
Out of Funga.
I mean, he's been what we've thought. I mean, he loves to run around, loves to act like Troy Polamalu out there. Still got a ways to go before he's a Hall of Famer, but he's done a good job. We enjoy his presence out there. He has fun. You can tell he enjoys playing football. He fits in well. I know he's a guy that you can tell it goes up when he gets the pads on. He's a lot more excited for the pads, and you feel a little bit different energy out there since we've been putting the pads on.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, you'll be going tomorrow after practice back there for the festivities. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well,
Is John checking in? Does he want a daily report on what he's missing out here?
he,
He's got a lot going on back there.
I kept trying, but he wouldn't answer. And then I see him on the TV, basically being a commentator, so he was a little distracted. But I guess he's earned it. You don't make the Hall of Fame very much, but I'm so happy for him. And it's I mean, as cool of a thing as I feel like in our profession and it's what people dream about. So it's hard for me to get out of here, but I'm going to go after practice. Try to go to his party and be with his family and everything, but I can't make their ceremony. We got to practice Sunday, so I'll be back for practice then.
Did you call a penalty on D'Amico Ryan's game?
No, I call it Corey Undlin for being on the field. No, when we do move the ball, guys get annoyed because it is competitive, but I have an exact amount of reps I want everybody to get, and we didn't get a first down, and we needed 2 more plays, and since I get to call the penalties, I found a way to move the chains.
How does the dynamic change for the quarterbacks, responsibility-wise, when you do move the ball versus the standard practice reps that we've seen before?
Not much at all. I mean, they're just running the plays the same way they do when it's scripted. They just don't know what's coming, and neither do we. I mean, it's just based up, down, and distance. It's random, putting personnel in. Sometimes you're doing schemes. Sometimes you want to attack. Sometimes you just want to put players in a position and see how they handle it. There's lots of stuff that goes into it, so they just clear their mind and wait for what I'm calling.
How conscious of you are? I mean, there's a lot of excitement around Trey Lance, obviously, but it seems like you haven't really participated in that, just in terms of your messaging and things like that. How conscious of you are you to not really push that excitement and make sure a rookie sort of earns that praise through how he plays in games and things like that before?
I mean, I think I got to be conscious of it when talking to you guys. You know, I understand that that's the thing everyone wants to hear about, and everyone wants to know each day how practice went and where is he, are they competing, all that stuff. But it's very easy for me when I'm not talking to you guys because it is what I'm trying to articulate. Like, you're just putting in an offense, guys go out there and play football, and I know it sounds coach cliche, but I mean, the 2s in every group are trying to surpass the 1s, and I see Trey the same way. Yes, it's a quarterback position. I mean, everyone is looking at that, but we're in a situation where I don't see them competing. I see Trey's going to play for us this year. I mean, whether it's, I know you guys all run into Twitter on that, but I mean, that situationally he's going to get plays. Like, that doesn't mean that he's going to go start or anything. He's going to get plays, and you got to prepare him for that every way possible. Every receiver who makes our team is going to play this year. I know it's different, but when you have quarterbacks with different skill sets and stuff, it kind of makes it easier for me to look at it similar to other positions, and that's why I don't think it's a problem on our team, and it's not a problem in there when we're discussing what we want to do.
Mosley look coming back today for you, and what was he able to do, or how much contact did you have with him when he was?
I mean, he was able to exercise and stay in shape and stuff since he didn't have any symptoms and things like that. I didn't really focus. I saw him out there today. It messed me up a couple times. I kept seeing 41, and I'm just used to Mosley being 41, and he looked a lot thicker playing strong safety. Then I realized he was 4, so that caught me off, but I'm excited going and watch him on the tape.
Same question for Juwan Jennings.
What's that?
Same question for
Yeah,
Juwan
same
Jennings.
thing. I mean, he didn't have symptoms either, so he was able to keep his conditioning up and stuff, which was nice. So he made it through practice. A joke that he has fresh legs because they've been all chilling for about a week, but we're hoping those guys can help us out this year, so it's great to get them both back.
You said no one's really separated themselves in the back end of that wide receiver. Do you think it's going to take a preseason game or 2 to get an idea of the back end of that group?
Probably. I mean, you want to see how guys react in those games and things like that. You got a good idea just watching as coaches, but they're all very close, and their skill sets, their talent and their experience. So that's why I think it's going to be a battle to the end.
You say he's going to play, blowing up Twitter with that. Would you like, the Lions, the Eagles, everyone to know, hey, Trey's going to play. You better prepare for something from him?
I mean, I don't care. I think people would assume that whether I say it or not. Coaches always prepare. So whether I say it or not, it could be a stretch, or it might be exactly what I mean. So we'll see when we get to that week. That's how I feel now. But I mean, we do game plan and we do study tape, and I can't tell you guys what I'm going to think a month from now or tomorrow.
Do you have a portion of camp where the 1s face the 2s and the 2s face the?
We haven't planned it yet. We don't do that much, but I will mix those guys in. I mean, Trey will get reps with the 1s and stuff, and that doesn't mean just the competition's open. It means I want him to get some reps with the 1-0 line. I want him to get some with the receivers. He does get it with the receivers. We put those guys in every group. We do it with the tight ends. I mean, if you guys watch our practices for the last 4 years, you'll see Kittle in with the 3s sometimes, Debo. It's really about the reps and how to get guys going, and sometimes when you do things different schematically, I got to make sure the other guys get those reps too.
I assume you, no offense, probably never tried to transition to tight end. Is for Jordan Matthews, is the biggest challenge the blocking aspect, or?
Yeah, I mean it's a different world in there when you got to go against Armstead as compared to K1. You know, it's K1, you're blocking a nickel back and you put your hand in the ground, and now you're going against Armstead, and probably has an easier time staying in front of him, but you got to be able to handle that load. And what's been cool about Jordan, you got to put the weight on so you physically can do it, but you got to have the right mindset too. And I know I wouldn't want that, but Jordan said he wanted it, and you can see out there he's a physical guy. He doesn't flinch at all, and when you put on that weight, then you want to see, did it slow them down to take away their skill set for receiving? And I don't think it has. I think Jordan's been impressive, and I know he's going for this, and I've been really happy with what he's done in a week, and hopefully he'll continue to get better because these are his first tight end reps.
Do you script the coverages you want the offense to face during practice?
So, yeah, usually I don't. We'll have D'Amico put it down, and you do it both ways. I have our coordinators and him get together, so you make sure we're not doing every pass first one coverage. If you don't chart all that stuff, you might feel really good about all your man coverages, but they've been going against all zone beaters, and vice versa. So we tally everything in there, and we try to make sure we're getting the right work that we think we'll get in the year.
You probably treat every practice as if it's a practice, but does going into the stadium with fans in attendance, does that change anything, the energy of the team?
Yeah, I think it does. Anytime, it changes energy coming out here and fans just being right there in the stands, and then going into the stadium. Anytime you change something up in camp, guys get a little bit more juice. But going in there, where I think we'll have more people in there, especially not having them last year, I think guys are real excited.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks.